Well, hey friends, how are you? Good to see you again. Hey, question for today. Do you like to read books? Some of you like to read books. Some of us like to look at books that have pictures and stuff in, and some of us like to read books that have words. So, how do you choose which books to read or buy? Do you look at the title? Do you look at the cover? Well, I have here today several books. And can you tell what this book is by its cover? There's nothing descriptive at all on this book here on the binder or on the front cover or the back cover that tells us what kind of book it is. I'm not going to tell you right now. Now, this is a different book. You can tell by the cover of this book that it looks pretty interesting. It's called Count Us In, and it's about these two young men here on the cover. And if we open it up, we'll find inside that there are words, and it's actually words that match the book cover. And then I have another one here, and there's a boy in here, it's called, and there are descriptive words and pictures on the cover, and inside we find that it's that as well. Now, let's go back to the original book. Did you figure out what it was? A little hard to tell because it doesn't say. But on the inside, see that? It's a songbook. That's right. It's a songbook. So this does not say on the cover what it is. Now, what if I took this book and I took the cover off of it? And again, now see, I take the cover off and there's really nothing here that says what kind of book this is. And if I would take this other book and take the cover off of it, and if I put this cover on this book, yeah, and all of a sudden we have this. So you would look at that and you would expect that this book would be about these two boys. But then you open it up and you start reading and you discover that it's not about that. I have a little secret and confession to tell you that some people I know, when they were younger, would go into the school library and change covers around on books like this. I'm not going to tell you who did that because that would be an invasion of privacy. However, there are some times where it's good to confess some of those things. So maybe, just maybe, some people we know used to switch covers on books just to confuse other people. I wonder if we would know anyone who did that. Well, I'm working on putting the right cover back on the books here, like I used to have to. Yeah, okay, so we know that switching covers on books might be something that I might have done in another period time of my life, but it was always fun to watch people's confusion when they picked up the wrong book, thinking that they would expect to find something because they were judging the book by its cover. Oh, there we go. There's that phrase, to judge a book by its cover. You've heard of that before, right? So what does judging a book by its cover mean? Well, it means literally that we usually buy books or we look for books by looking at the cover. But we never sometimes look inside to see what's there. So the common saying, don't judge a book by its cover, or you can't judge a book by its cover, means that we shouldn't form an opinion about a person, about a place, or a thing just by looking at the outside appearance of that book, place, or thing. For instance, we could say this about a building we might look at. You know, when we arrived, we found that the hotel we booked looked terrible. But as they say, you should never judge a book by its cover, and it actually was very nice inside. Or we could say it about a person. You know what? If he loves her, I'm happy for them. For you can't judge a book by its cover. They don't seem to be a match. She doesn't seem to be right for him, but you never know. Sometimes we really mess up when we judge somebody by how they appear. And there's a story in the Bible about that. You might remember the story of the prophet Samuel in the Old Testament, who was looking for the next king of Israel. And he went to visit this farmer by the name of Jesse. And Jesse had all these young sons that came in front of Samuel, and Samuel was looking at them, and he saw some very good-looking, tall young men, and he thought for sure that they would be the ones that God would choose as the next king, one of these tall, handsome young men. But God told Samuel, no, actually, I'm not looking at a tall, young, handsome man. I'm looking for somebody else. And God said to Samuel, don't judge him by his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So we must be careful not to make a judgment about a person from the way they appear or their cover. You know, sometimes some really tough-looking men, the motorcycle gang or whatever like that, a really tough-looking person, might actually have the softest heart. Well, we do know that Jesus was also clear when he talked about our actions and our words and how they should match up. Yeah, in Matthew 7 verse 20, Jesus said, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. So you're right. What we talk about should match what we act like. You know what? I want my cover, my outward appearance, my outward actions to match my inward beliefs. I want that for myself, and I'm sure you want that for yourself. However, I also want to not be quick to judge a book by its cover or by how somebody appears to judge their heart, because I might not know their heart. And I want to tell you and remind you that God loves all people. He loves all types of people, and he loves all covers of people. No matter what they look like, God searches men's hearts, and he wants hearts that follow after God. So don't judge a book by its cover, and don't go to the local library and switch covers on books. Nah, not a good thing. But anyhow, whatever you do today, I wish for you a day filled with joy and a day filled with peace.